Welcome to the pod, Matt. You're watching the MaateCast.
Nice. First try. We're getting good. Third episode of the MaateCast.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope we're all doing very well. How are you, Chris?
I'm pretty good. Long shift today, but I'm feeling energized and I'm ready for this podcast today.
That's what a Matt does.
Yeah.
We've got a really interesting one for you today.
Wow.
So what was our last podcast about? Just a little recap.
Little recap. Hip hop, music. What else do we
Yeah,
talk
we're changing
about?
it up this time. So it's a completely different angle that we're going this time. Well, is it? I mean...
It's not really. But, I mean, like... Because I'm seeing
another empty chair.
Another empty chair. And
Gosh.
I'm thinking, frig, no way they're doing it again.
They just couldn't be.
I mean, you can't top last week, can you?
How are they going to do it a second time, third time? How are they topping it again?
I'll tell you,
You're
Millsy.
asking right now.
I'll tell you. Today, we've got 2022 school captain, Mercedes worker, Maya ex still Maya worker. What's the
I was going to say his name.
Yeah, you go.
Timothy
Leeson. Welcome.
Thank you
Timothy,
for having me on the MaateCast.
It is an absolute
Thanks,
honour
man.
and our pleasure to have you on the
It's
show.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and be with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Personally, I'm very excited to chat today.
I'm keen as well.
Yeah.
Can I just say that's the first episode where you haven't done that stupid accent.
It's actually weird that we subconsciously...
Yeah.
We actually want to talk to you about that, but
Okay.
also we saw your comment on the previous podcast.
Yeah.
Ban the accent.
Yeah, so Tim commented on the last podcast, criticizing the accent.
burned a hole through
and
us,
honestly,
that's all right.
honestly, I was watching the last episode. I was
you do
annoyed.
get sick
I
of
was
it.
annoyed.
You do get sick
Yeah.
of it after a while.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just,
Every now and then, fine.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good
But
to...
when
yeah.
it stays,
and I think I was obviously joking. I don't really care. But me knowing you guys and then watching that, it's like, that's not you.
100%.
See, I was thinking maybe
100%.
like people that don't know us that watched it
Think
just think
you're
it's our
all
accent.
yeah.
It's actually funny you mentioned that because I had a guy, my dad's best friend's son, he actually watched it and he said he watched 7 seconds and turned it off because he didn't understand a word we were saying. So I was like,
Dad's
yeah,
best
it's time for the Texas boys.
Yeah,
To
don't even do it because then I won't be able to do it.
Yeah,
but that was like subconscious
Mm.
because I actually didn't want to do it this episode, but I wasn't
That's
thinking
weird.
about it just
That
then.
is weird. But anyway,
You've done well.
Yeah.
I commend you.
Yeah,
Mm.
thank you. Yeah, we're keen to speak normally this episode.
100%.
I also actually, side note, had a guy similar to that. Second customer I served
You're kidding.
today, he was like, I asked him how his day's been, and he's like, oh, you got plans for the rest of the day? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, actually, I'm filming a podcast.
I'm on a podcast.
Oh,
I'm actually on YouTube.
Yeah, actually. And I was like, yeah, it's only our third one, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, yeah, I love podcasts. Like, I'm listening, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And then he was like, oh, do you listen? I'm like, yeah, blah, blah. And he's like, do you listen to Auntie Donna? And I'm like,
Oh, no
no,
way.
I don't, but Auntie Donna, we know Auntie Donna.
Yeah, love Auntie Donna.
And then,
Netflix show coming or ABC show. or
yeah,
something.
ABC
Yeah,
show. But
yeah.
and they've done a Netflix show.
Yeah, they have like
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but yeah, so, but then he was like, oh, give me your name and I'll check you out. So, hey, if he's watching, for some reason,
That's crazy.
that'd be fun.
Comment if his burrito was good. Is he a
Yeah.
good burrito maker?
Who knows? I don't
Let
know what to
us
say.
know.
Well,
Yeah.
we're about to find out.
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. So today, Timothy Leeson, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for joining
very
us,
much.
Tim. It is an absolute honour.
Thank you.
Now,
Let's get this started.
I'm just going to skip over that. Now, we've already done the accent.
Yeah, we actually wanted to address the accent.
Well, there
as
you
one
go.
of the
We were
first
going
things.
to.
We're
Yeah.
getting it
Dot
done
point.
straight
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Which one did you want to get into,
I'll
Chris?
just, Tim, how you been, though?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good. Obviously, as you know, finished school
Yeah.
last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just sort of getting on the grind. I work full time at Mercedes-Benz.
Freaking
Unreal. Unreal.
So that's been really good. A few ups and few downs. Obviously, didn't get any break after school. Went
Yeah.
straight
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
So that I think that was a good thing, definitely.
You thought it was a good thing?
100%.
Yeah.
But
You're not feeling like it's draining you or anything?
over Christmas and New Year, just
Yeah.
after that,
Mhm.
Yeah,
that
that's
slowed me
crazy.
down a little bit. But then once I got over sort of January, then I was back to
balling.
getting it done and getting over it. Now I have some like annual leave built up, so I'm take a couple of days off soon anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely been really good.
Yeah,
really
it's
fun.
crazy.
It's so different to school. Completely different to school. Like one of the biggest differences is because I found like you'd think, I work like 8 to 5 every day, and it's a big deal, but it's not, because the routine's still there. Because you wake up in the morning and you get ready, have breakfast, go to school, and then you come home in the afternoon and you do your thing, go to bed. It's the exact same. Yeah. Exact same time. And when you're working, the time doesn't matter. When you're at school, the time doesn't matter. It sounds like a lot, but it's not.
Are you having more fun at work than you were at school?
100%.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And we'll touch on that after. But what I was saying with, the timing's the same, but at school, you come home and you got homework to do. You're not where at work, I do X amount of time at work. I come home and I got nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like it's almost easier.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
We've been thinking about like, I mean, not thinking, but we always bring up like, full-time job, like could not even do that.
The 9 to 5 life.
And you get used to it, like the same way you get.
I think just the routine you sort of like soothe. Ease into it.
Yeah.
So,
and there is a routine, which is really good.
Yeah.
Run us through this, Tim. What brought you to the decision to saying yes to Mercedes, and kind of talk us through that whole process
and how you got it,
how you came to be a Mercedes-Benz worker the year after you graduate. May I just say that is actually insane.
I think people are going to be interested.
That is honestly crazy.
That's a cool.
Throughout, let's take a step back.
Let's go all the way back
to the beginning. Back to when I was in prep.
Whoa!
Wow! It goes all the way back till then.
No. So, it was grade 9, sort of step into like more senior school, doing a lot more work. Obviously, I hated it. Didn't like it.
Duff.
Grade 9, like it's it's obviously the basis for 10, 11, 12, and just the things we were learning. I couldn't wrap my head around why I needed to understand it.
Yeah.
Couldn't wrap my head around how this is going to help me get anywhere. Like, and like I just couldn't relate to it in any sense. And that's sort of how I run. Like there needs to be a reason for me to do something.
Yeah.
And at school, the only reason for me to do the work was to pass the assignment or to get a good mark, and that just takes me nowhere. So I didn't really like it. I did well in PE, as everyone does. Does well in PE. I topped the class in PE, but that was about it.
Yeah.
But I think, there's a reason I think for that, because our theory in PE was about self-analysis, and this is why I'm bad, and this is what I'm going to do to be good.
Yeah.
So even that had some sort of like kickback and reward.
Yeah, you're getting better.
You're learning about yourself. You're learning how to get better. And you're learning ways to do that and to strategize that. So that's probably why I did so well in PE, but just couldn't relate to school. Didn't like it. Didn't like what we were learning. Didn't like the stress of exams and assignments.
It was terrible in grade 9.
There was a lot of teary nights and teary days in grade 9.
Fair enough.
So I hate school anyway.
Yeah.
And then grade 10, the opportunity came up to join what our school calls Pathways of Excellence Apprenticeships.
Yeah.
Which is like an alternate program to the ATAR, where you're doing work experience instead of getting your traditional ATAR.
Yeah.
You get the opportunity to go out on work experience for 4 weeks every term. So I went out. So I'm explaining this like you weren't there. It's more for the.
I mean,
viewers.
you can.
Yeah, you
I'm
were there.
very invested in that.
Okay, really?
Actually,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, have you said that you're doing TAFE? Have you said that? Did you just say that?
No, I haven't got to the TAFE part yet. I did do TAFE in grade 10.
Right.
Yeah, so TAFE was separate.
Okay.
Anyone could have done TAFE.
Okay.
But alright, we'll go back to grade 10.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. So I'll touch on the TAFE thing. So grade 10 opportunity came up to do Pathways of Excellence Apprenticeships, which an alternate route to traditional ATAR, uni, work, whatever. So in grade 10 it was a little bit different. It was more groundwork to set us up for what the program offers in grade 11 and 12. So it was a lot of just basic maths, getting that tick on the QCE certificate to graduate. So I did a short course in math and English in grade 10, and that got me my tick to graduate school. So I didn't do math or English.
I remember
for 11 and
that,
12.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in grade 10, I did do TAFE. TAFE at schools. I was a sports and recreation. A Cert 2 and a Cert 3 in sport and rec.
Okay.
But it was like more coaching focused as well. So I did that. I enjoyed it. The purpose of that, and that was just on the side. So anyone, whether you're ATAR or in our pathways.
So you chose to do that just because you.
I chose to do that just because I wanted to.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyone at school could have done it.
Yeah,
it was just a 1 day a week, go off.
Yeah.
Say with other school kids.
Yeah.
So and definitely again, if that's something if it's in an area that you want to pursue, then do it 100% because it's going to get you further in that area than whatever school might get you into.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If it's something you're interested in.
Like if you want to learn design and fashion, then science, math, and English are great at school, but you can do design and fashion and TAFE while you're at school.
Yeah,
So,
do both.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I was interested in sport at the time. And throughout grade 9, 10, 11, 12, no clue what I wanted to do. No clue. So went to TAFE for a little bit. And that was over 2 years. So that was grade 10 and grade 11 during school. So on a Friday, I'd go to TAFE instead of going to school.
Yeah.
So that was sort of that. It was never really going to take me anywhere in terms of a career. Well, I didn't think so at the time. It was more just something to have that can create opportunities.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying in grade 10 that, okay, I'm going to do this sport thing at TAFE and I'm going to become a sports coach, I'm going to become a professional athlete. It was more just okay, I can do this here now that creates opportunities for maybe, I did do some tennis coaching
It's
at
good
school.
that you still did it.
I did
just
tennis
as an
coaching
option.
at school. I can now, I know sort of what to do if, in friggin' 20 years when my kids have a sports team. I can, it's just something to always have and something to put on a resume, something to fall back on. Like it's just something to have that I'm sort of interested in.
Yeah, that you're interested in.
So that was TAFE. But then it was more through work experience that I sort of fell into the job that I'm at Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
So, we did 4 weeks work experience every term, which is a lot of time. You find the work experience yourself, so you learn to get rejected. You learn sort of what you're interested in. And 4 weeks is a long time. It's a month of work. So think about when you guys started your first job, how competent you were after a month.
Yeah.
And you're there 5 days a week.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
So you learn what's good, you learn what's bad. It's not like you're doing 1 week and you sit and watch and you sort of have an idea on what it's like.
Yeah.
You're doing it for 4 weeks. And even if you are watching, because obviously there's some workplaces we can't do everything. Even when you are watching, you get to see a month's worth of work. And a lot of business operate monthly, so you see the highs and you see the lows.
So you were very much involved in what you were doing. You would say.
And you get to watch, you get to be around, you get to do some task, and you do that for a month, so you learn exactly what the industry.
5 days a week, was it?
Yeah, 5 days. So you're doing it during school.
Yeah.
So instead of going to school, you're going to work experience. And so throughout that time, like I said, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I liked cars.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be a mechanic. Everyone thinks that. I was a mechanic, hated it. I was a panel beater, hated it. I did some vinyl wrapping. Connection through you. Just love the vinyl wrapping. That was something that would have been an option. And then I was a performance mechanic. That was okay. Cleaner workshop, nicer cars.
Yeah.
Making cool cars go faster. But again, it was like it didn't fit how I wanted to run.
Yeah, but it's still so important that you even
exactly.
Try these things.
Yeah, like all those things, especially throughout grade 11. Like I didn't really like any of them.
Yeah,
but you putting yourself out there is good.
Yeah, but now I know that.
Better.
Yeah, I think that led you to where you are now because you tried.
100%.
Exactly. So that's it. You got to try it because if you hate it, then you know you hate it and you know what it's like.
Yeah,
and if you love it, then you know you love it. So,
Hold on.
That is like the 5th time we've done that.
So that was sort of grade 11. Grade 11 went by, whatever. Still didn't have any idea of what I wanted to do because I tried all these things that I thought I would like and then didn't.
Yeah.
The vinyl wrapping worked out pretty well, and I did enjoy that, and there was a little bit of sort of casual work and a job on the side that came out of that, so that was really good. And then, grade 12, I was like, okay, I'm going to try something completely different, not car related at all. So I was a chippy. I was on the tools, 7 a.m. I was a builder, and that I really enjoyed, and not something I thought I would enjoy.
Yeah.
But I really loved, getting out and about and making something from nothing or watching something. And it's weird what.
It's a bloody good feeling.
Yeah, it's weird what the deeper meaning is, or not the deeper meaning, but like the reason behind why you like something. Like when in PE, when I was doing this to get better, that's why I was good at PE. Like, or you don't necessarily like digging holes or nailing walls, but you like seeing this become to this.
Yeah,
the
like
end
the
piece.
finished product.
And
feel very
the journey
accomplished.
getting there.
And so that's probably another thing I took away from work experience about why you enjoy certain things.
Yeah, fair.
So I was a chippy, loved it. Okay, great. That's something I can do. If I still had a couple more work blocks, if nothing else, I know I like being a chippy.
Yeah.
Being a builder, that's an apprenticeship. It's reasonably easy to get into an apprenticeship. You can go do a trade. So that was one thing. Then I was like, okay, I'm like that. I'm gonna keep doing some different things. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, when did you start working at Maya?
Started working. I was Christmas casual in the end of grade 10.
Right. So this whole time you're also on and off at Maya.
Yeah. So this work experience is just as school.
Yeah.
So instead of going to school, I'm going to work experience.
Yeah.
Maya was just a casual job. Weekends, late night shopping.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of pocket money.
Yeah, a bit of money.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like 16, 17. Yeah. So yeah, I'd been a tradie, loved it. Right, I still got a couple of work blocks to try something different.
Yeah.
I like from Maya, I got to talk to people a little bit. Okay, I like talking to people. What's something that I can talk to people with? And at Maya, there's a little bit of customer service rapport that you have to build with customers. So it's not so much, and no offense to anyone that works at these places, but it's not like your Kmart's or your Targets where you're a checkout chick. You're just processing transactions and hey, sick, it's this much.
Yeah,
but
maybe the small chat. But
Yeah.
then it's like over there.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas at Maya, there was the privilege was there to be able to help customers and decide customers comparing between different appliances.
It's much more engaging.
Yeah, even customers deciding what colour pillow fits their couch best.
Yeah.
And I really liked talking to customers and sort of coming to that decision with them. And so there was a little bit of sales. I don't like calling it sales because it's retail, but but there was a little bit of sort of salesy sort of side to that. So I was like, okay, why don't I try sales? I've got 2 work blocks. I'm going to try real estate. I'm going to try car sales. So that's what I did. I just phoned up. And this is sort of how this is now we're getting into Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to try car sales this term. And you phone up heaps of different places. I've phoned up all down Springwood Way. I phoned all of Mount Gravatt, Logan Road, all of Maruka, Newstead, the Valley, pretty much every dealership in Brisbane, basically. Doesn't matter what manufacturer. And Mercedes-Benz Brisbane was the only dealership to come back to me.
Wow.
Because, and fair enough, work experience in a sales environment is not very common, especially in a car sales environment.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not very common. So, and that's, I sort of expected that. And like I said, you learn to be rejected.
Yeah.
But they were the only place to come back to me. I went in for 4 weeks work experience, loved it, had to buy a suit, had a $70 Target suit for my work experience. And it went really well. I fit in, I think, with everyone. I enjoyed the job. I liked the talking to people. Obviously they have really nice cars, and I liked the cars. So it was sort of a perfect mix of cars, people, a good environment, like a luxury brand. So that another green box. So we got vinyl wrapping. We got it could be a builder. We got automotive sales. So there's now different things that I have options now.
Yeah.
But I still was like, okay, I still want to try real estate. So I tried real estate sales again, loved it. Perfect mix of sort of all these interests. Houses are really cool. There's obviously a lot of money in it. So again, like that was really awesome. But I think I was still sort of gravitating back to Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
Just a lot faster paced. You know, you still get to do all the things, and sales is sales. Doesn't matter what you're selling.
Yeah.
But I just like the fast paced nature of Mercedes-Benz.
And you liked Mercedes a lot, and I'd say they were like
they were
hardest, like the top.
Yeah, the top option
to
sort
get
of thing.
into.
Yeah, and the hardest to get into.
Because you had the other options, you were kind of like, I assume you were
Yeah.
kind of like, even though it's the hardest, like but it's kind of the one you want the most, so you kind of went for it,
Yeah,
knowing
100%.
even if you didn't get it, you still had these other
Yeah,
options
exactly,
as
and
well.
like
The fact that it was Mercedes as well, the only one to get back to you.
Yeah,
I
was really, really fortunate. I think that's like you just gotta just send it. Like you just call it out, and that's also how I got into the real estate. So, I phoned up the deal, like the principal of the office.
Yeah.
And that was what he said to me over the phone right then and there. And then obviously I went back in just for a quick chat before I started work experience. And he was like, I can really appreciate you, you know, reaching out. Shows a lot about you. You're polite over the phone. So that's, you know, and like, again, a skill you develop just by finding work experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the fact that I reached out got me a lot of the roles that I was, that I got, even though I was just working for free.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, if we go into it a bit more, Mercedes obviously being the hardest, like, what would you say is the thing that you stood out? I don't know how to... What made you stand out compared to the others that wanted the job or might want the job? Like, how did you get the job? Because obviously it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to get into Mercedes.
Yeah, no.
What was it about you that was like...
especially being a 18-year-old fresh out of school, no experience, no nothing, no money, no nothing.
Yeah.
Just school.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. Like how you got in.
And work experience was the biggest part.
Yeah.
So I did the 4 weeks work experience. Loved it. I did well. There was obviously good chatter around me.
Yeah, it's a great way to build a foundation.
Yeah, good rapport. Then after that, like I was in the area one time, so I went in and said g'day, sort of thing. Then you see everyone again. You say hi. You sort of stay fresh in their minds. Oh, that was Tim. Oh, yeah, he was really good. And then they talk, so just building rapport with the business, and then in term forward, right before we graduated, there was another little work block, just a short 2 weeks. So I went back. I said, hey, I loved what I did last time. I'd love to come back. And then, did that 2 weeks. And throughout that 2 weeks, it was sort of okay, I'm about to finish school. Is there anything opening up? And fortunately, there was this sort of cadet program that they were opening up. And I was fortunate enough to be asked to apply or suggested, hey, you should apply. So, of course, when that happens, you apply for the job. And, Not that it gave me a definite, you've got the job, but it's definitely a head start compared to the other candidates
and I think
who are just applying.
I think you doing the work experience as well and putting yourself out there and meeting all these people just like already gave you an advantage.
Definitely. And
absolutely,
like as you said, the rapport is definitely like
I didn't
got to be one of the biggest.
I didn't need a super fancy, super in-depth, detailed resume. I didn't need to have the perfect suit and a good handshake. Obviously you still have those, but that's not all I had going for me. I had 6 weeks of work experience, 6 weeks of on the job training sort of thing, building a relationship with everyone in the business.
It's one of those things where it's like the people that they already know, like in anything in sport, like picking a team sport, like
like the same way you watch someone play and then you pick them.
If you've already seen how they play or they've been on your team the year before, you're gonna
you're more likely to
choose them in the next year.
So how I started working full time for them, I just applied like everyone else, but I had the rapport of the business and the managers and the staff, and liking who I am and liking me, and
it's brilliant.
But all behind it.
It's how you do it.
It really is so cool.
It's how you make it.
No,
honestly.
thank you. And I guess for me, it's just like I don't know anything else. Like I just went to work at Mercedes-Benz, and it's just a job. But I guess it is pretty cool, and hearing you guys say that is, of course. making me think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd get used to it and you'd feel it's not that cool, but it definitely is. It's very special.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say.
No. It shows a lot about your character. I think the way you're able to. You kind of just represented yourself as this guy who, as you said, hasn't got a lot going for you because all you did was graduate kind of thing. But I think just because you graduated a few months ago or whenever it was, doesn't mean you're not capable of being a member of Mercedes-Benz. Like, I just think it shows a lot about you and a lot about what you are capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I do think it is pretty brilliant.
Thank you, Millar. Yeah, that's good.
It's beautiful.
Right.
And I was also...
I was forced to say that.
It's like Tim's
just on the slide.
Next slide.
Another thing, like I was school captain as well. I didn't really touch on that.
I was gonna go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Was there a question or?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, going back to pathways, that was obviously a big deal.
Yeah.
Because, well, like one, no one really expected it for you. I would say just because like they just thought you were gonna be the academic type, and then it also kind of had this side implication of like you don't really get leadership in pathways.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of what you think when you think about it. Like you have the pathways leader, and that's kind of it. And it feels like that you can get others, but just that you're not at school as often. So especially for school captain, everyone knew you wanted it or would go for it, and that you would be a good school captain. So when you went into pathways, that was kind of like
he's written himself.
He's not. He's kind of like not going to end up.
Prefer you to be doing ATAR for school captain.
Yeah.
I think it was.
So that was a big deal, but you still. I mean, was there anyone? There was a pathways captain. Has there been?
Nathan.
Nathan was. So there was still pathways captain.
Oh no, I meant like someone in pathways that has become school captain.
No, I was
before. Yeah. So you did that. So what was your thoughts behind that? Like, were you thinking, I might not be able to go for it, or I might not get it anymore?
I was never in doubt or never questioning that I could or would, or I didn't think there was anything holding me back. Obviously, there was a lot of, and I don't really know where this has come from. Obviously, I think it wasn't true, but especially in grade 9 and 10. Even in 11 and when I was like applying for it, there was a lot of talk of you're in pathways, you can't get it, you're not allowed it.
I actually don't remember how that started, but I just remember thinking
everyone
said it.
My thought pattern was like Tim's chances have now slimmed because he's in pathways.
Yeah, and there was a lot of that even from the other grades.
I'd say when we were in year 11 and like applying and whatnot, that's what everyone was thinking, was like, all right, Tim's kind of out of the thing. And Miller and I were it was people thought I was me and
Will.
I wasn't sure, but we
were the runners, other guys running for it.
Yeah.
And actually, before you keep going, I remember when we were doing our speeches for school captain.
Yeah.
Miss Thomas came up to our group before we went, and she's saying like, don't stress, you guys will be alright. And she said these next words, and I was like, that honestly opened my mind up to you getting it.
Yeah.
And she said, and by the way, just because you're in pathways doesn't mean you can't get it. She said that, and my thought process was, Tim's got it.
Just like
why am I here?
Speech feel free.
I remember that and I had a gut feeling. I was like, she's saying that because she wants him to get it. But
no, she was sus though. She did stuff. Well, not sus, but like I think she was just encouraging. Like,
100%.
When I said I wasn't sure I was going to go for it, she was like encouraging of me like going for it.
Yeah.
And then that pathways. I feel like she did that stuff a lot.
Yeah, she did. I just think it's like ironic in a way that happened, but I think it also. Yeah, I just kind of had that gut feeling after that. I was like, there's a good chance that he's now going to get it. Yeah.
So there was a lot of chatter.
Yeah.
So much chatter.
Yeah.
And I'd asked multiple teachers throughout.
I remember.
They're like, hey, I'm in this alternate program. Can I still go for captain? Because obviously all I'm hearing is no. And like the answer was always, of course you can.
Yeah.
So. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Sorry.
Bless you.
Just say bless you every time I like go say it. What was I going to say now? Just the teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would say, oh, like people would hear it, the teachers saying, oh, like you can get in it. But like we were still we kept just thinking like they were just kind of saying that, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. To
you're
like
away for I forgot
like how viable is it really?
Yeah, like because if you didn't know, like you being there means you're away for like weeks during term, and that's the only thing that kind of led me to believe like, oh, maybe they are capping a bit there because like how could you do that? So
I think again. No. I think also because in our like applications for captains, house captains, school captains, whatever, it was like ATAR was a strong topic within all that. Like it was kind of like like academically you've got to be there, and so I think that might have been what sparked it.
Like
the
your
whole,
results. Sort of
you got to be
exactly.
Well.
There wasn't a specific mark you had to meet, but it was just kind of stated. I would say pretty regularly that ATAR is much preferable.
And I mean, that's probably just because that's always what had happened before that.
Yeah.
Like, there was no one knew any otherwise.
Which is what drew me to think.
Yeah. And I mean, But so, it was...
You can talk
I
now.
was always... I always was like, okay, but the teachers have said, and obviously the teachers make up the decision. And that's who really matters. So I didn't really... didn't let it change what I was going to do.
Very good that you did that.
And so I just do what I normally do. You goody two shoes, apply whatever, and then made a speech whatever. And as part of the application process, you do the speech in front of the school, but you're talking to your head of house. You're talking to your head of year, and I'd spoken to the principal as well. Just hey, would this work? Would this be allowed? Obviously, and now because I was in this Pathways program, you are doing work experience. You are away. Said, hey, is this okay if I come back to school 1 day a week or a half day a week or do something that is a little bit different as in preparation for this. So I went and as part of my application, I said, okay, I am away because obviously it is a big issue.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do to change it and to fix it, and to make it work. So, and that's almost sort of eliminated that issue. And then it was just sort of fair game from there.
Yeah. Again, that's like just building that rapport. I guess I don't know if you can call it rapport, but it's like you're putting yourself out there, showing
shows a lot about you to do that.
Talking to the people that you need to talk to.
It shows a lot about you and about.
You've definitely always been good at that. Is talking to the people you need to talk to.
Yeah.
And like showing that it's you're putting yourself out there. You're showing them you want it.
Hey, this is sort of what I want to do.
And like when
if I was the principal, I'd be like,
when they see you want it, you're gonna give it to the person that wants
100%,
it. Like, 100%.
True.
Because you could have just been like, oh, I'm in Pathways. I don't have to do that much work then as school captain. Whereas you were like, genuinely putting yourself out there and showing that you wanted it. Like,
or like
100%.
Or just being like, I'm in Pathways. Like, I'll put in my application. Like, hopefully they let me. They said that they can.
Yeah, could have just backed down.
And then you just sit and wait. But you didn't sit and wait. You
100%.
talked to them and said, hey, I'm willing to do what it takes. You know?
Which is And so through work experience, I was coming back for a day for assemblies and doing all the things. If there was a day that I needed to come back for, I'd just come back for it. And didn't let it get in the way.
100%.
Worked out well.
Did you, when we found out who was going to get all the captaincy stuff, were you? What was your thought process going into it, and what was the thought process when you saw your picture on that screen?
So the way they did it, they put like all the positions on a screen. So it was like house captain, this person.
Yeah.
And then, anyway. And then, so I only applied for sports captain and college captain. And in my sports captain interview, the question was posed, hey, if you in the running for both, which one are you choosing? And I said school captain, so whatever.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sports captain. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
The real tester... Sorry.
Was it Will that got sport? Sorry.
Will got sport.
So what were you saying?
I was going to say, the real tester was when the prefects came up.
So when the prefects came up, and I still wasn't in it. Part of me was like, oh, I got this in the bag.
Yeah,
And then the other part of me was like, oh, like what if I've actually like flunked it so bad?
Yeah.
And like I'm not.
You can't
That's
not think something like that.
crazy.
Even though it's such like obviously
like,
that's not the case.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like confident. I was like, okay, it's pretty sure it's gonna be me next. But I might have just done so badly, and it's not worth me being school captain. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, next image comes up. It was me, and it was all good. And Ariella as well.
I remember the prefect thing came up. And that it was like, was it 1 by 1 that they did the prefects?
I think it was pretty quick.
I can't remember. I think I was like the second row though. And then like it was someone and then me and my heart dropped. In that moment. Yeah. I was like, oh, like would have been good. But then I was curious because my mindset was still, would they actually give it to Tim?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was still like, my headspace was, it's either Chris or Tim then. Like it has to be either one of you. And then I think when I saw Ellie was the indication.
Yeah,
like,
I always
it's got to be Ellie and Tim.
If Ellie was school captain, they'd put her with you. Just because
I
felt like you were just a good team.
Yeah,
100%. I thought I had those like matches where I was like, if it was this person, there's probably
true.
Yeah.
And that was one.
We always
did. If it's Ellie, it'll be
that.
Tim, or if it's Tim, it'll be Ellie. Or whatever.
100%.
I have a question for you guys, if that's alright.
Whoa.
So as
that's different.
Both fellow applicants, obviously we've spoken about a lot of what my decision as losers.
He's been holding this in for a while.
So as you know, losers to me. No. We spoke a lot about like my mindset, my decision, my process to get whatever. Like you guys sort of touched on what you thought would happen or whatever, but where were you guys at when they announced, and what did you guys think? And
I think
why did you apply?
That's interesting. So I'll go first. Yeah. So like obviously I applied and whatnot, but I didn't end up
actually
going.
Sorry. Yeah. Can you are going to talk about how you applied and stuff?
I guess so.
Yeah, because yours is actually interesting.
A little bit. Oh.
I actually like. Oh, it's
good
actually
story.
really good.
Great
How you applied for it and how you went about it. It's actually interesting.
Because it wasn't easy either.
I want to touch on that a lot as well.
Well, we'll try to touch on it a little bit. So yeah, I applied, but I was thinking about it for so long, and I couldn't decide whether like I actually wanted school captain or not. And like everyone would think, oh, like it's an obvious choice. Like obviously you're gonna want school captain, or obviously like, you like people would say that I'd be a good school captain, or like
100%.
whatnot, like good leader, whatever. So like I'm constantly being told this, or like just being told I'm a leader, as we do, and it's like. But I wasn't sure about school captain, and it came to the actual time to like put in the freaking tick the box or whatever, and I just wasn't sure. And I knew I wanted house captain or like wanted to go for it, and like sport, I thought there'd be other better people. So it really was between like school or school captain or being just like prefect. I guess. So it came down to the moment, and. I thought hard about it, and eventually I just didn't tick the school captain box, and I just went for the prefect. And then I, like on that note that we had to write, like on why we wanted it, like I filled that thing. I wrote so small, and I filled it, and I talked about why I wasn't going for school captain pretty much. And I pretty much just said like, although I think it would be cool, and although like, it was something I thought I would be okay at, I didn't have like the heart and the passion. Because like what I would see is I'd see you, Tim specifically, I will get to you, like how badly you kind of wanted it, or like you're in pathways but you're still doing all this effort 100%. To try and get it.
Yeah.
And like I could just see, like we've literally been talking about it for the past 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you wanted it, you know, and you put in the steps to get there. And I saw that heart that you had, and then same with Millsy. You just wanted it so bad.
I was desperate.
Millsy just like, you just wanted it. And then I was like thinking to myself, and I'm like, I just didn't want it that as bad as you guys. Yeah. And like, I don't know, like obviously we could talk about it and we could argue, or not argue, but we could open it up and be like, was that because I was like like for other reasons. Like, was that because I was just scared of what it could bring or blah, blah, blah. But I came to the conclusion at the time that it was like, I just didn't want it as bad, and I was honestly just happy with like prefect and like that responsibility from years, like it's a bunch of small things, but from years before, seeing like Cooper and stuff like that, and how the other grades would talk about the school captains when they were
kind of daunting on you a little bit.
Kind of, well, no, it was more like the people, like say the grade above us, talking about Cooper as a school captain, not talking trash or anything, but being like, oh, like it's not actually that big of a deal that he got school captain,
right?
And I
didn't.
Or like,
blah
blah blah.
Oh,
you know, that kind of.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Or like, this person still does this, like this prefect is still helping out in this way, or still part of that team. Yeah. It's just like 100%. It's just the fact.
Like you can make an impact in every.
Yeah, like absolutely. You can still, exactly. I could still do stuff and not be the face, you know. Yeah. And I thought, if I can still do stuff, and like one of you boys would be able to get it, I felt that would be better, right? Because you boys like really wanted it. I was happy to just not support you guys, and like still be a part of it, but not be the face, because I just didn't have that desire that you had. So I ended up doing that, and then I remember Miss Thomas, like I've mentioned it before, she came up to me like after she read it, and it was at morning tea, right where we'd play spike ball, like right next to our bag racks, and she came up to me and she's like, So. Should I do it? Sorry, I actually can't like do a voice, but you know, in her voice, you know, said like, oh, like, is this like, are you sure? Like, I read your thing. Are you like sure this is like what you're wanting? Because
we need Sam Ryan to do the voice.
Yeah, she said like, because I know like a lot of teachers like would be supportive of your if you went.
So many were.
And like, that just tested me.
So many.
I'm like, Miss, get back. This decision took so long. Yeah. I mean, like, and I'm bad with decisions. That's a whole other thing. But
that's a whole other thing. Oh man, how many times does this podcast get pushed back today?
Don't even talk about it. But so she said that, but like, obviously I was committed, so I was more just like, Miss, like.
Yeah,
but I said like, this is what I'm deciding to do. She said, sure. I felt she was like disappointed, which that's what hurt the most. But she was like, okay, and I'm like, but
I get that.
We're sitting in that room, and the names pop up, and I didn't know who it was going to be. Yeah. I thought, I just had it between you two, really. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know. I thought, if Ellie got it, it'd be Tim. I thought Gable had a good chance. And
so did I.
Miller. I thought Indigo had a good chance.
Yeah.
Cass, no others. But, and then the names came up, and I was happy with it. I felt bad for you, because I knew you wanted it as well. And I knew you'd be really good. But I always saw you as like a good leader as well. 100%. And honestly, like, always, you were stepping up at that time. Year 11. Like, I remember start of year 11. First meeting we had, I think it was, and like at the end, you know, where it's like they asked people to pray, and like you just like did the prayer straight away, and I'm like, Tim's goal. I'm like, he's stepping up. He wants it. So it started all the way back then, but that was my view on it, and that's my story and how I felt, and it was good.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, Millsy, how'd you feel?
I want to touch on...
You have 25 minutes.
I want to touch on you saying no to school captain, because I remember going back to when we would first met and talking about if we would actually run for leadership and stuff like that. I just remember so clearly us being like, oh, what if we both ran school captain? We have to like go into each other kind of thing. Yeah. And so...
We wouldn't be allowed to be friends anymore.
That to me was a very big deal. It was like Chris and I are going to go head to head almost, but not even from a competitive standpoint. I was actually really excited to see like what would actually happen, and I really wanted to know the outcome. Yeah. And so going into the applications and stuff, I was like, that was my thought process. It's me versus Chris, but not in the sense that like I want to beat you and I want to have that over you. Just in that I'm really keen to have this with you and to share that with you. And then you didn't tick the box. And then my thought process, obviously my first thought was like, what are the 5 stages of grief?
I don't know.
I think the first one, like deny. I was kind of just like denying like that it was happening. I was like, there is no way you're saying no. And then it took me a while to work up the courage to kind of realize that you saying no just proves even how much more of a leader you are. I think you like being able to establish the fact that Tim and I and Will and all these other people were very, very eager for it. And I think the fact that you acknowledged that and you stepped away from it, it just, again, it just shows how much of a leader you actually are and how aware of...
Yeah, the maturity to say...
110%.
If I do this, I'm not going to put all my effort into it.
Yeah, because I don't think I could have done that, to be brutally honest. I think... Because, my mindset was... like, I've always wanted to be school captain. I've always wanted to be able to show my leadership and be able to impact the school in some way. And... but you doing that made me realize that you would... Like, if you went for it, you would have been an absolutely perfect pick, because no matter what you do, you always put others in front of yourself. And I think that was what... That took me a long time to realize, because I was like, why did he say no? But it just showed how much more of a leader you are than I think you are, to be honest. So that's where that was heading. No, but then I was like, all right, I've got it. No. So it's funny. I don't know. It was interesting because obviously the whole concept of you being in Pathways, that came into effect straight away. And I don't want to sound boastful, but I was hearing pretty much everybody in our grade saying, you've got it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even kids from different grades were saying, "Oh, what's up, school captain?" And I was like, "Great guys, it's preempting."
Yeah. Sorry, it was dangerous.
I was like, and I had people like telling me like, "Don't get your hopes up," because like
we'd be in ancient class and like hearing it, and we talked about me as
that,
and that was the whole thing. But when we'd also talk about Millsy, and we'd be like. Okay, like people are saying stuff and we trying to get stuff from Mr. Hooker and what
I would ask him like, so like, have I got it?
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, I don't know. And even him saying that, I'm like, I've got it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know?
We were trying to like say
no.
You don't know what could happen.
But it's just hearing literally everyone saying it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if I've actually got it in the bag here? And then I went into it feeling like fairly confident. But I still had that thought at the back of my mind of what Miss Thomas said. I was like, low key, there is still like a solid chance Tim could have it.
Yeah.
But I think just hearing everybody saying you've got it, I kind of just blurred that out for a while. I was like, I think I might actually have it here.
The combo of that and like people were saying that was because you were at Pathways. And like people just instantly thought, he's probably just not going to get it then.
Yeah, 100%.
So then,
fair enough for thinking that too.
Yeah,
like it's not like
it was unheard of.
Yeah, and
at the
I
time.
am away from the school for half of the term.
Yeah.
For half the year, I'm not at school. So like, why would that be a viable option?
Yeah.
Or how would that be a viable option?
Yeah, like naturally, if they count you out, they're gonna go, like Millsy's got it then.
Yeah.
That was the thought process going into it. Still had that thought floating around of like, but Tim could still get it. And then, I saw I got prefect first. And then, then I just knew, okay, so Tim's got it.
Yeah, true.
So, you or Tim. But my guess would have been Indigo and I got it. If it wasn't you and Ellie, I thought, because
it's like a teamwork thing. What works best.
Because that's what obviously they're going to think about that. They're not going to put people that they haven't seen.
100%. Yeah. Because I remember talking to Indigo prior to when we found out, and just talking about how she was hearing a lot of teachers saying that the votes were sort of a lot were on my and Indigo's side, or something along those lines. And I thought, okay, so like, and I thought Indigo and I would have been great as school captains, but and then obviously walking into it, I thought, Okay,
such a tense assembly.
it's either Indigo and I. I was shaking, literally shaking. It's either Indigo and I or me and Gable.
Yeah.
That's where my mindset was at. And then I found out I got prefect. And that like sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, so I didn't get it. I thought one of yous would get it. And then for a while, I wasn't happy with like that. I really wanted school captain. And then my mindset went straight to, they're going to bloody regret that one. They've done me dirty. No, but then I think as the year went on,
you get over it. Just like
I found that being a house captain was where I was meant to be.
You were so good at that.
I think being a house and like leading the house and doing the war cries. Like I always knew that was where my like true passion was at. Like I would have killed to be school captain, but my heart and my soul and my passion and I put everything into being a house captain.
And you were really good at that.
That's where I felt happiest, I would say, and most where I belonged was.
And we got results too, so like it.
100%. We got robbed at the end of the day of the house shield. We got robbed, but no, it's okay.
Smallest of small side notes. Like let's not talk about it for long at all. But Carey has won the last.
Carey has won swimming and cross country.
How and when?
Yeah,
and like
Newton Livingston. Yeah, it's like flipped completely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was my thought process. Was just I had preempted that I got it, but then had the hard realization that I didn't. But I think it turned out for the better.
Yeah. 110%. If you are listening and you are like in school still, and the roles are something you want, but you're scared about it all, like at the end of the day, whatever role you get, you can still play a part.
110%.
Like during the year.
You can. And it doesn't matter whether you like are a leader or you're not, or you're there or you're away for half.
The title makes no difference.
The title makes no difference, and it's more about what you do.
Yeah, because you can can do stuff and not have a leader.
Yeah, and the impact that like you leave, or the thoughts that people are thinking about once you're not there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That leads into good stuff.
Really quickly, I just want to, if we're talking about.
No, it doesn't.
Sorry.
Shut up, Chris.
really, I don't want to talk about me being school captain and not talk about Ellie being school captain.
But please do give your
Ellie, like I was away for half the term, so obviously that put a big toll on her. Yeah. So just want to big love Ellie. You did amazing.
It's really amazing.
And we did work really well together, and it by all any means wasn't a Tim school captain. Like,
we have only talked about
we've
that
only
did
talked
cross
about
my
me.
mind at one point.
We have only talked about me, and it's not all about me. It was a team effort, and 100%. She had my back the whole way, and it was good. So thank you, Ellie.
Beautiful, bloody beautiful.
That's the way to do it.
Sorry to interrupt this conversation, but we've decided to split this into two parts because it was such a good convo.
It's way too much.
It goes long, so
sorry.
This is part 1 of part 2. Part 2 will release next week. See you there.
We will see you then.
You said part 1 of part 2.